What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting to you from the D, and I'm seeing a trend here of women complaining about red pill content, saying that red pill content ruined their relationship. I watched a woman complain about this before, and I talked about it a little bit, and now I've seen another woman, this time a Latina. She said that her man came in and showed her some Kevin Samuels content. He wanted, I guess, her to watch it with him. And yeah, she was not receptive to this at all, as I didn't expect her to be. You know, The Godfather was really good at triggering a lot of these really argumentative, masculine acting modern women. So I'm not too surprised by the fact that she wasn't really all that receptive. Oh, we got somebody with a slingshot. I ain't mad at him for playing his music loud, though. You know, them slingshots, they just kind of like open or whatever. So, you know, when you in those, you kind of got to play your music loud. It's like a rite of passage. Anyway, as I was saying, her man, he played her some KS content. She wasn't receptive to it, and she became really angry. She said they got into an argument over this stuff, and she began to berate him, saying, like, how is he a grown man being influenced by another grown man that don't even know him and all this and that. And she be on social media, but she's never influenced by any of it. And I find that very hard to believe. Women are very easy to persuade when it comes to like TikTok or whatever. She says if it's something that they're selling and she doesn't want it, she doesn't buy it. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they have sold you some things, or at least piqued your curiosity in some things that was junk you really didn't need, and you were all about it. So I really wasn't that convinced when she said that. But what I found to be interesting was how this was a guy she was with for 3 years by her own admission, and how she started to berate him simply by him expressing a desire for her to change a little bit and do certain things for him. And she was basically like, you don't pay my bills, basically calling him a bum and telling him that he's not on this man's level, because apparently he didn't just stop with KS. He started to watch other guys too. And she was basically like, you're not on these guys' level. So if you're going to be expecting this, and that, you need to be on these guys' level. And even though I didn't think it was cool the way she was berating him, I will say this. She wasn't totally wrong. If you want a woman to be a certain way, you have to qualify for that type of woman. Also, another thing, if it's a woman that's argumentative, disagreeable, masculine acting, she talks down to you, berates you regularly, and you now suddenly want to change that, that's probably not gonna happen, because you've put up with that type of behavior for so long, to where now if you try to change the dynamic of the relationship, she's going to give you all types of pushback, because in her opinion, you're acting brand new. You acting different as hell. And you kind of are. So the thing is that once there's a dynamic of a relationship and you're unhappy with it, and this is a man dealing with a woman, because the playbook for women is totally different. But if you're a man dealing with a woman and you're unhappy with the dynamic of the relationship, if you've been in that relationship for 3 years like this guy has been, it's nigh impossible to get the woman to correct those different behaviors that you find to be unflattering. He ended up breaking up with her, and as he should, especially if this is the type of woman that would be disrespectful the way that she was. This woman was a potty mouth. She was cursing like a sailor, just all this masculine energy, and I was like, bruh, I can't believe that you stayed in this as long as you did. I mean, she went on and went as far as saying how, he didn't have any male role models looking up and, to look up to growing up, and how he's he's looking for that now. Here he is, a grown man looking for advice and influence from other men. Women take advice and counsel from their peers all the time. And I think women are the worst to take advice from. Single women keep women single. So to berate him for doing the very type of thing that you do yourself, because please believe, when she mad at him about this and that, she going talking to her girlfriends about it. So to berate him for doing literally the same thing you're doing, condemning him for doing exactly what you do, is just very strange to me. And not to mention a bit hypocritical. But she went even further than that. She started basically painting him out to be a bum, pretty much. Now, this is where I was like, okay, I was hearing you out about, yeah, if he wants a certain type of woman, he needs to be a certain type of man. I was with you on that. You worded it a bit reckless, but ultimately, what you're saying is not wrong. But now to try to drag this guy through the mud because he's your ex, that's a bit silly, because this is the same guy you were with for 3 years. So he was good enough for you to be with him for 3 years, but now that he's your ex, all these things about him, they're an issue. He wasn't paying all of your bills, yada yada. Well, this wasn't an issue beforehand. And not to be funny, but this was a woman. She was a bit on the chubby side. Not to say that you can't be chubby and cute, but you can't be chubby and have that sort of attitude and win a guy that's a bill payer. That just doesn't work. Guys that pay bills want a certain type of woman. They're gonna have certain expectations, and in many cases, this is why they're on social media talking about the type of guy they want instead of being with the type of guy they want, because it's impossible for them to attract him, and they haven't figured out that their behavior and mannerisms, and also in some cases their appearance, actually repels the type of guy that they want. So here's a guy you were with for 3 years. He was good enough to be with. He was good enough to give your body to for 3 years. And now that he's kind of discovered, this isn't the type of relationship that I want. I don't really want a woman that's argumentative and disagreeable. I really don't want a woman that's extremely disrespectful, because ultimately, whether I'm paying all of the bills or not, I'm still a man, and I'm going to be respected. You're going to respect me as your man, if only for that reason, or else I just can't be with a woman like that. I can tell you guys out there, walking away is powerful. If it is a woman that thinks that disrespecting you when she gets upset is something that is okay, if she did it once and you let it slide, you kind of unintentionally reinforce the bad behavior. So it's going to happen, and you just got to keep in mind, you have to check that sort of stuff out the gate, and you can't be afraid to walk away from someone who is disrespectful. I mean, I'm telling y'all, walk away. It's what, 8 billion, over 8 billion people on this planet. You can find another one. I'm telling you, do not be afraid to walk away. There is nobody that's so special, so unique that you got to put up with disrespect off of them. Walk away, find you another one. It's real easy. So I'm gonna leave it there though, you guys. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do, and hit me in them comments. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.